Good morning, everybody. Hello, welcome along. It's lovely to have you with me. I'm just going to get some bird song on. Now, don't forget, it is Saturday and I don't have staff on a Saturday. So if I do have any customers, I will have to go and serve. Good morning, Sue. Hello, Joe. Hello, Connie. Hello, Sheena. Good morning, Janet. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Linda. Welcome along. It's lovely to have you here. 16 of you so far. Morning, Rosemary. Welcome. Right. Before I start, I will chat to you. It's only 45 minutes, isn't it? I'm using the Morning, Melanie. The Clairefontaine Verdigris Multimedia paint on paper. It is a grey green, really. Morning, Faith. Morning, Elizabeth. Morning, Anne Bodada. Sutiki. It's lovely to have you. Hi, Trish. Right. So I've got an outline of 2 boxing hares. Good, glad you're alright. So welcome to you all. Oh, it's so lovely to have you all here. 25 of you so far, which is wonderful. I did trace those hairs, Sue. I didn't have much time this morning to get them sorted. So I just found a random image of some boxing hairs. But I won't be working from that image, really, because they're backlit and they've got like a ready brick glow about them, and I don't like it. Diane. Morning, Denise. 5 past, I'll probably get me brushes out. So I'm using the paint on Verdigris paper. Zubaida, good morning. Good morning, April. Lovely to have you here. Predictive text is rubbish for Welsh, that's very true. And I'm using the Winsor & Newton Designers Gouache, slightly better quality. They are expensive, but they go a very long way. You don't need much at all, and you can reuse them. So I will chat to you a little bit about gouache, if any of you are new. So gouache is very old. Well, white gouache is very old. It used to be known as body colour in the 16th to 18th, 19th centuries. Morning, Diane. Oh, it's not so lovely here in Banbury today. It is very grey and damp feeling anyway. Damp in your bones. And they're really old. So basically white gouache is white paint with chalk in it, really, and it's a chalky finish, which is why it's known as a designer gouache, because it's flat and it's matte and it dries darker and flatter than watercolours or acrylics. It is blendable when wet or dry, so it's a more advantageous than acrylics in that sense, because when acrylics dry, it dries. And on the back of the tubes, if you get good quality tubes, you can see there's a black square there, not to be confused with that one. Black square means it's fully opaque. Let's look, that was the ultramarine. The yellow ochre, fully opaque. White, fully opaque. Not all of them are. You see the burnt sienna, half black, half clear, which means semi-opaque. If it's just an outline of a square, it means it's fully transparent. If that makes sense. You got the outside lights on, blimey. I'm using a selection of brushes, but mainly, I don't think these brushes are the Pro Art miniature painting brushes. I've got a 0, a 2 and a 1/8 of an inch. I probably won't need a rigger. And then I've got this old Sea White number 8 nylon brush. Old brushes are quite good for grass, you know, stuff like this, where the bristles have splayed. Perfect for grass. In fact, I might use that one instead. So when you've got a tile of that's just a tile, by the way, nothing special, of gouache, when it dries you can just re-wet it and use it again. They're brilliant. I love them, I do. I love them. They're Boston paints. So I'll just block in. Maybe I'll just go with yellow ochre, to be honest. The green underneath will make it an interesting tone. This verdigris colour, perfect for portraits because it's a green-grey underpainting, as they did in the Renaissance. So I'm just going to cover my hair in a fairly dilute wash. I'm having a bit of a hair week here at the shop. The Thursday morning we did a hair in pastels. Today I'm doing boxing hairs. Monday morning at Wardington Art Group we're doing a hair in pencil. And Thursday afternoon's watercolour, I think, is a hair in the evening at moonlight. Not moon gazing though. That would be tricky to do in watercolour. So I'm just putting a very basic wash over. If you do have any questions, hopefully I'll be able to spot them and answer them in time. But there is a delay from what you see, from what there's about a minute from what I say to what you hear. And then another minute for me to get your reply and read it back to you. So it takes about 2 minutes for me to reply. So this is just yellow ochre, shoving it on. It's very busy in the cafe downstairs this morning. Block it in. I could use a bigger brush than this if I'm honest, but I'd get very sloppy with the outline. I just love gouache. We did a beautiful, because we have a weekly gouache class now on a Wednesday morning, and we do all sorts of things in there. We did a lovely lighthouse against the rocks, Pigeon Point Lighthouse in California, I think it was, that we did. Really nice to do, and that was on a blue-grey paper. But all of our recordings are available on our sister site, artstreamclub.com. And they're £6. But we're starting from today a new weekly fun thing where we've posted it already this morning. I've posted all of this week's videos that are on Artstream that we've done in class this week, and we're asking people to vote for their favourite one that they want to do, and then the winner of the votes by 10 o'clock tonight. That lesson on Artstream will be half price, so it will be £3 for the rest of the week. So from Sunday through to Saturday, the one lesson that people have voted for as the best one is going to be half price. I can indeed, Denise. It is the Clairefontaine Paint On Verdigris. We sell all of them. You can access all of these from our online shop. We sell all of them. They do denim, black, grey, textured white, white, natural, which is kind of a craft colour, so it's like a parchmenty brown colour, and verdigris. They do a wonderful set of coloured card, all of them in one pad, without the green, but we are out of stock at the moment. And you can order from the shop, yes. If you're not too hot on online shopping, you can just send us a message. We won't be able to post anything out until Tuesday, though, because that's not until when Jackie's in. But we post out first class. And you can always pay PayPal or bank transfer if you really can't handle online shopping. We try to accommodate you all here. We do everything. I'm on nettle and lemon tea this morning. It's a pleasure. Right, so it's still a little bit damp, but you can see how much stronger the colour is. Now, most of my students will be able to say and repeat by rote when I say watercolours dry 30% lighter. Gouache does not do that. It's totally different. I guess it dries more like emulsion paint. You know, when you're painting the walls and the colour goes on and it's quite, you know, glossy as it goes on, but then as it dries it goes chalky, or chalk paint like French Chic, as our friends Deb in Doodle Dash down the road sells. It goes chalky, and it's because there's chalk in it. There are lots of options for gouache if you're interested. I'm just waiting for paint to dry. You can just, if you've got watercolours, you can buy, I would say, buy the expensive white gouache, which is about £6 for a tube of 14mm. They're also available on our website. And mix it with your watercolours to make your watercolours more opaque and gouache. Or there are student sets that we sell for 12 colours for about £12. They're not as opaque, but they're a good starter set. Or the gouache sets are quite expensive, but they do last a long time. For example, I used a set of 10 Winsor & Newton gouache class gouache paints for a class a couple of years ago, and there was 7 of us in the class plus me, and we did 3 paintings each, and there was loads of paint left over, and I'm still actually using those colours today, in, you know, different quantities. So it does last a long time. So the set is about 10 is about 60 quid for 10 Winsor & Newtons. But they last a very long time because you don't waste them. For my pet portraits, I've got a double-sized tile, and I've got all the colours I need around the edge, and I just leave it on there. And then when I come to do another pet portrait, I'll add a bit more paint, or just spritz it with water before I start. They're really lovely. I don't do big pieces. The pet portraits are the biggest, I would say, that I use. Which is basically, they're kind of A4 on an A3. So if I'm going to go big, I'll use acrylics. But A4 or smaller is wonderful. We do you can get real levels of detail because they're so opaque. You can put lights on top of darks and all manner of stuff. So let's have a think about making a slightly darker tone. I'm going to put a little bit of burnt sienna out. You could use burnt umber if you've got that, and a little bit of ultramarine because I like the colour that makes. And we'll have a think. We did a lovely hare in pastel on this is the number 0 brush. So I do work very quickly when I paint in gouache. I feel a bit like a sewing machine. Very mechanically I will work. I'm leaving the eyes because they're quite squinty and they're just black. However, my brush strokes will follow the direction of the hair. Right, it's lovely to have so many of you with me this morning. Probably all in your pyjamas. Are you still in pancake mode from earlier on this week? So lots of short strokes. I don't know why I've done this one first, because I'm going to have to cross over it and lean on it to do my other one, the little one on the left. What I can do is, that's quite time consuming. If you've got the time, good for you. But let me just make up with my scratchy brush that I'm going to use for grass. Also good for fur, because I can just go, look at that. I could use a comb or a rake brush if you're familiar with what those are. A comb or a rake brush is a flat brush or an oval brush, a filbert if you like, that has notches out of it. Can you see that? So the bottom bit acts as a reservoir for the finer bits, and then you can do good grass or fur with those. I think they're almost about £4 each. Not everybody gets on well with them, but like everything, you've got to get used to things, haven't you? You know, you can't. Oh, got the hiccups. Excuse me. You can't instantly be good at something as much as we want to be. And I know you're probably thinking, well, why not? I want to be good. I deserve to be good at this. I'm just doing the main areas of the body. When you do use a brush like this, it's important to, how did I guess about the PJ? It's important to think about the direction, because otherwise you'll just be almost potato printing. So if you notice, I'm moving the brush around slightly. Let's do this face. Let's back to the 0. Can't believe it's March already, you know. Well, they're looking a little bit more solid already, and I haven't done anything. Done nothing, Gov. I do like hares, and I've got a soft spot for moon gazing hares, I have to say. Slightly lighter. One more to do is, oh, I think I might have to nip downstairs. Easter eggs, yes, Easter eggs soon. I've got one put aside. Just in case, because I really struggled to get any during lockdown. Mortified I was. Just doing a few bits with the 0. They've just got huge feet, haven't they? Whopping great big feet. See, it's important to keep the your pencil lines visible, otherwise it's very hard to see where you've been. It once you've stuck a bit of fur on, it can be very easy to lose. So I'm not going to do a huge amount with the background, mainly just the grass that the hares are on, because he's actually not on grass, he's in the air. This one is in the grass. Grass. It's looking okay, isn't it, do you think? Oh, Elizabeth, oh, glad. You say all the right things. Maybe I should start taking donations in Easter eggs. No, I can't. I need to lose some weight, to be honest. Everything's becoming a bit snug. And I did very well not to put much weight on over lockdown, but seems to have caught up with me. It's going a little bit darker. Looking at where the darker tones are. But what is really good is that it doesn't matter what order I put the colours as a layer, because I can just go over the top if I want something lighter. So what we'll do is we'll try and get a bit of shadow underneath this one, because if you think they'll be on probably a big field of grass, so potentially the background's grass and the foreground's grass, so you need to kind of cabbage cream eggs for breakfast. Oh, don't. I just love them. They have changed the taste slightly, I have to say, but fun fact, I can fit 3 in my mouth. Whole. Preferably without the wrappers, because it sets my fillings off. Might add a little bit of black. Oh, that might be a bit too much black. Easy, easy, Barry, easy. I've just seen a whole shop full of people walk in, but they've just realised that I don't sell crystals and the crystals are downstairs, so they've gone. I know, it's awful, isn't it? Sometimes a fork can set my filling. I've got a lot of fillings because I have a habit of grinding and clamping down on my teeth in my sleep, so I fracture my teeth. I have a very expensive mouth guard that I have to put in every night, and I've even sliced through the mouth guard. I must have the pressure of an alligator on my jaw. That's a bit about my life. How are you? So I'm just trying to outline, infer The dark really starts bringing it forward, doesn't it? But what I find really interesting with this paint on paper, the blue, the denim is the same because the denim is a bluey grey and this is a greeny grey. But what I find really interesting is as soon as you start adding colour and stuff to it get me, all the technological words for my line of work, I know them all. Is it starts to look more grey and less green. It's unfathomable. Oh, by the way, bit of a brag. Managed to get Wordle in 2 today. See if you can beat that. And I do it while I'm in bed before I get up. I'm on fire with me Wordle. I've tried Quordle, which is doing 4 at once. Can't do that at all. Not on you, Nelly. The yellow and blue are there. Did I tell you what colours I was using? White, permanent white, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, lemon yellow or cadmium lemon, ultramarine and black. I don't think I did tell you. I was too excited. Look at the size of those feet. He's jumping up. Oh, global. I've tried global. I'm rubbish at geography. I've also tried Nerdle, which is the mathematical equations, and I didn't even get past 30 seconds because I can't do maths. It's amazing. Grey is a wonderful colour because it does very much change. There's so many different greys out there. Going a bit dark. How am I doing for time? Gosh, do you know what? It's past already. Blimey. Blimey. This always reminds me of a scene out of Watership Down when I see boxing Hares. When Bigwig tries to save the rest of the Warren. Better get a wriggle on, haven't I? 2 legs. I don't think this one will be going in the Tate. Bright eyes burning like fire. Better not sing because I'll get told off again for copyright. Right, I'm going to put some... Thank you. Oh, Janet Tar. Right, let's do a bit of two black eyes, two lovely black eyes. Now he's squinting because he knows he's just going to get a punch. And he's looking a bit annoyed. Put some white in there in a minute. But you can see how economical gouache is. Let's go with some white. I didn't clean that brush properly, did I? Blimey O'Reilly. I don't know who O'Reilly was. It's just a phrase my mother used to say all the time when I was a kid growing up. And I've kept it going, but I don't think my brother and sister do. I think they say swear words. And I can't do swears on lives because I'll be banned for that as well. So if I make this too dilute, the white won't be opaque. But I do love gouache in the way that it is just so easy to work with. I do have some students that struggle with gouache, but they're really fantastic with acrylics. What's that? Oh, thank you for the stars. Don't they start looking like hares already, eh? I say already, I've been doing it for half an hour, but I suppose half an hour in the grand scheme of things isn't very long. Did you all dress up for World Book Day yesterday? Oh, Sue, I miss having you in the room actually, because you're normally live with me, aren't you? A lot of my students have disappeared from me this week. I'm all by myself. Solid. Never, the dark bits. Don't worry, Judith, because you can watch it back. It will be on our video section on this page forever and a day, as long as Facebook exists. And as long as technology is on my side, I can download it and put it on our YouTube channel for you. So there'll be a few different ways to access these demos. I'm starting to look at July to December's classes. We are going to have 2 additional classes, which is quite exciting. I'm going to be starting a monthly Friday evening oil painting class, and on a Monday afternoon for an hour I will be doing an art club online only, which will fit in with the national curriculum for art and design for Key Stage 2 and 3. So it will be available for all ages. And it'll be simple stuff in an hour. Might be about light and shade, or it might be about perspective or depth. A few things like that. So I'm refamiliarising myself with the schemes of work for Key Stage 2 and 3. It's been a long time and it's changed a lot. But the art club on a Monday will be online only. Oh, you've got bacon sarnies. I can smell. She's making a lot of bacon sandwiches today because I can smell them up here. Let's go with a little bit more ochre, so we've got a paler ochre-y picture. Just to get a bit of a light glow. I know I didn't want to do much of a glow. Excellent, Joan. Well, you know, Jill, it's because oils is the one aspect that, weirdly, I actually started my career in, but it kind of, people didn't want to do it. So I've never taught it, other than a few little bits. So it wasn't until the the beginners class the other day, when you all said, oh, but we want to do more oils. So I thought, you know what, let's do monthly, because then drying time is important, isn't it? Let's get a few whiskers on. Could use a gel pen. I'll make them a bit thicker so you can see them. Right, let's have a fiddle with some grass for 5 minutes. Let's go with my old manky brush. Oh, really, Joe? Oh, Joe, I love gouache. It's it's really versatile in how you use it. You do have to be careful that if you treat it, because you do watercolours, don't you? If you treat it like a watercolour, it does become more transparent. So the more water you add, the more transparent it gets, so you lose the opacity. But you'll see this with this green, how it looks very nothing. But as it starts to dry, it'll change colour. This is just a lemon yellow and ultramarine. Keep it as a bit of a vignette. I'll do a darker version in a min. Gosh, it's 33. When did you all creep in? Hello. While that's just drying for a second before I go a bit darker, I will let you know what the next free demo is. Let me have a look. 2nd of April. Saturday the 2nd of April is a Peak District view in acrylics, so that'll be a nice one to look at. And then on the 23rd of April, bonus month, is a free paint along session and it is two Highland cows, two Highland coos in the frost in acrylics. So it's acrylic month next month. So it's a free 11 till 12:30 class on the 23rd. Paint along, online only, on this page. And the 2nd of April is Peak District View in acrylics. So we like to keep it nice and varied, because otherwise you just end up doing what you do, don't you? Let's add a little bit. Oh, I've added a bit too much brown in there. I want to do a dark green. So I'm stabbing. This is my Manky flat brush. Need to cover those feet up. But you can see with the grass, like with the fur, I'm moving, twisting, manipulating the brush so it doesn't just look like a potato print. Well, I thought Highland cows would be quite popular. I'm adding a bit more blue and a little bit of black, so I can pop the shadow in of this one. I'll go a little bit darker for this one here. So we can see he's off the ground, can't we? Let's go with a slightly lighter brush. I am almost done. Bit of white in there. The white does make it more opaque. For some longer flicky bits. I actually saw bulrushes for the first time in a long time. I used to paint a lot of scenes with bulrushes in because they're a good filler in landscapes, but don't see them very often. But driving in this morning down in a verge, loads of bulrushes. Might stick a few little flowers in. Wendy, yes, we do. We do have them. Some little white daisies. They're all available online as well. Right, there we go. So thank you very much this morning. I'm really glad. Hi Denise, thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. I'll take a photograph of this and post it under the reference image as well, and post it separately as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. Nice little simple March scene of two boxing hares. So thank you very much. Have a really good weekend. Please stay safe and take care. Yes, Zubaida, they're all on our website. All on our website, but I'll try and put the link in this demo of our brochure after the demo. Thanks ever so much, everyone. Take care. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.